Hi, y'all. Good evening. My name's Rayven Westpoint, and I've been working with EforAll for some time now, but every time I work with them and share my story, it's all on Zoom. So this is my first time being able to see y'all, to see the graduates, the people who are building and dreaming, and I'm really, really, really happy to be here. I do want to start off by saying that I am standing in a room full of supernatural humans. Supernatural humans usually refers to people who possess abilities, traits, or qualities that go beyond what's considered naturally possible. And if you can hear me right now, that means you're alive. And if you're alive, that means that you've survived everything that was designed to break you. Every hard season, every doubt, every disappointment. You've already done the impossible more times than you probably realize. And if you're an entrepreneur on top of that, that means you've done something even rarer. That means that you've taken an idea and you've turned it into something real. You've turned a thought to a thing. You've turned something that was fantasy into a fact. And that is creation. That's alchemy. That's supernatural. Because not everyone has the will to make something from nothing, to see what isn't in the world yet and to bring it, to birth it. Or maybe it is in the world, but it doesn't have your twist in the market. And that's incredible. It takes courage, it takes imagination, and a little bit of madness, the good kind. And every time I meet a new EforAll cohort, I always share that entrepreneurship is not a straight path. I personally see it as a survival skill. For me, I see it as you have to learn to adapt, rebuild, to keep moving, even when you're not sure what's next. And for me, that lesson did not start with a business. It started with my life. Before I ever built a business, I had to rebuild myself. When I was 20 years old, I was a full-time student halfway through college with a dream of being the mayor of Providence, which could potentially happen. But I also had a full-time job, and I was working for Sprint, and I was on track to be making more money than my parents. So I was really excited because then I could help them, help my whole family. And I remember trying to build rapport and trust with my customers because the manager position had such bad turnover. So I would talk to my customers and I would tell them, like, hey, if I'm not here, something bad happened. And that was my first lesson on how powerful our words can manifest. May 20th, 2018, I was working with a customer, and I was giving him an upgrade to his phone. I was taking off the plastic off a new iPhone. What do you want your passcode to be? In that moment, I felt a pop in my body, almost like a hiccup, but it wasn't coming from my diaphragm. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I asked him again, what do you want your passcode to be? He said 4 numbers, and I couldn't understand. At 20 years old, I had a ruptured brain aneurysm. An aneurysm is like a bulge on the artery wall of your brain. So imagine like a pimple on your brain, and it's filled with blood, and it just popped. 50% of ruptured aneurysms are fatal. 15% don't even make it to the hospital. 25%, they don't even survive within the first 24 hours. And 66% of their survivors have some type of permanent neurological deficit. I am part of the 66%. And The only difference between many other survivors and me is I have a lot of invisible disabilities. Can't see anything physically, but from the aneurysm, I have a language disorder and aphasia that within 3 years of speech therapy, I have confidence to talk to y'all like this. I have a central auditory processing disorder, so yeah, I can hear you, but it takes longer for my brain to understand. And it also made me deaf out of my right ear, even though it happened on the left side of my brain. But I lost everything. Within milliseconds, I could not read, I could not write, could not speak English. It was gone. I was pushed back to my adolescence and I could not go back to college. I could not go back to work. I lost my hair, which is my confidence, it's my everything, it's my culture, and losing that really hurt my self-esteem. I lost my livelihood, and I went from being hyper-independent, leaving my family's home at sophomore year in high school, to finishing my sophomore year in college, and I couldn't even go to the bathroom by myself. I lived in the hospital for a couple months, and while being in the hospital, my brain started swelling, so they had to take this piece of my skull out for about 5 months. My body was filled with scars from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. And yes, it was a lot of physical pain, but I can stand here and tell you that it does not compare to the mental pain that I was going through and losing everything that I built. You never know what a person is going through, and we never look like what we've been through. 7 weeks after I got the piece of my skull back, I started a business. I sold Afrocentric earrings on Facebook Live videos, and within 2 hours, I made $500. And I did that for a couple months. I started to feel myself again, and I was so happy. But the side effects of the aneurysms was really tough. And one thing that I was dealing with was memory. And I kept losing things, little things like my keys, my wallet. And I remember feeling good, like, I'm confident, I can go out, I can do normal things again, and I decided to go to the movies, and I went to the movies, and I ended up losing my wallet. And inside that wallet was at least 6 months of all of my bill money. Last day of the year, in 2018, I was alone. I made a goodbye video, and I decided to take all the pills from the hospital gave me for a permanent relief. But the moment that I woke up, I told myself that if a ruptured brain aneurysm couldn't kill me, and if I can't even kill myself, then I'm supposed to be alive. Repeat after me. Metanoia. Actually, it's like this. Metanoia. Metanoia. So that's a new vocab of the word. That's a new vocab word of the day. Metanoia means that a radical change of mind. It is a complete transformation on how you see yourself and your life. And when I think of that word, I think of butterflies. You know, before it flies, it must go through the cocoon and a period of struggle, darkness, and stillness. And that's exactly what I feel like, what I went through with the aneurysm. I went into my own cocoon, faced my pain and fear, and slowly began to learn how to take care of myself. That was the moment I stopped trying to escape life, and I started choosing to rebuild it. No doctor, no nurse, no therapist, no family member, no friend, no partner could heal me. Only I could heal myself from the inside out. And I just started creating rituals for healing. Small acts of care, meditation, and I needed to learn what peace felt like in my body. And eventually, those small acts became Solita, born from survival, from transformation, and it was from metanoia itself. September 2018, I founded Solita, and Solita fosters a community of people who prioritize self-care physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, helping them reconnect with their inner beauty through accessible, high-quality, natural skincare products. All of our products have a self-care routine attached for holistic healing. I started that business with no business education, no business network, or capital, and I barely knew English, so I was really going through it. But I found organizations like EforAll to teach me for free, because I had no money. But I had will, and I really had a lot of ambition, and I knew that if there's somebody who's going to be out there to teach me, then I'm all for it. In 2020, when George Floyd was murdered, people started supporting Black businesses all over the world with their money. And by the end of the summer of 2020, we were featured in 20 articles, had 12 retail partners nationwide, and we grew to have retail spaces in downtown Providence, not too far from here. We also was one of the only local businesses in Garden City. We were featured in the largest publications in the tri-state area, including Boston Globe, Rhode Island Monthly, and we won Best in Rhode Island Award in 2021 and 2023, and we reached over 100K in revenue that year. Every time you take an idea from nothing, struggle through uncertainty, and emerge, transform, that is metanoia in action. That's how our business, Solita, was born, not out of wanting to be an entrepreneur. Like I told you, I want to be mayor of Providence. But it was out of wanting to heal. I wanted to create something that helped others slow down and to make self-care feel sacred again. Last September, we reached 6 years in business. And over the years of building Solita, I've learned that entrepreneurship is just survival with a business plan. Healing and entrepreneurship are more similar than you think. It's the same instincts: faith, adapting, creating, finding light in uncertainty, and courage to start from nothing. Every founder I've met through EforAll has the same spark. The ability to keep showing up, and even when things don't make sense yet. And they don't stop when they reach a failure. And they just see it as feedback and they pivot. And that's the real work. And if there's anything my story has taught me and what I hope to leave with you today is these 3 lessons. 1, turn your pain into purpose, turn it into power. My life changed when I decided instead of focus on things I couldn't control, I needed to focus on things that I could create. Understand that pain is necessary catalyst for growth and awareness. And a lot of us just need a shift in perspective. Life has cycles: joy, grief, growth, decay. And I need y'all to accept that emotional seasons because it's necessary for renewal. Like a seed that breaks in the darkness for a plant to grow, recognize that pain is part of the miracle of existence, just like joy is. Pain has purpose and will eventually pass, and it's never meaningless. It's transformative if you let it. And every challenge you survived is an ingredient into what you're building. Do not hide it. Do not edit it out. Everything you've overcome becomes a blueprint for your business. 2, your reason why. I want y'all to remember that you need to have a strong reason why. Because I can tell you, sometimes when the orders slow down, when your ideas don't land, when your vision feels too heavy to hold, on those days, it's not motivation that's going to keep you going. It's the reason why. And don't you tell me that profit is your reason why you have your business, okay? Simon Sinek, the author of Find Your Why, he says that profit isn't a purpose, it's a result. Purpose is the reason your organization exists. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. And that hit me when I read that, because when I started Solita, all I wanted to do was heal. And I wanted other people to do the same. My why was self-love. My why was for others to understand that self-care and self-love, it's all wellness. And my why was creating something beautiful and amazing out of something that was supposed to destroy me. And every time I always feel like quitting, I always go back to that reason. Because your why becomes your compass when the road gets hard, and what reminds you that what you're building is bigger than you. And 3, your superpower is you. Nobody can be you. That's your superpower. You bring a combination of experience, perspective, and creativity that no one else has. And that makes your contribution to this world unique. Think of how many other skincare businesses that are out there, but that did not stop me from formulating cosmetics. You're never too young or too old to achieve something extraordinary. Age is not a limit, it's context. And when you're alive, that means that you have a divine purpose to be here. Every day you show up is a chance to honor it. People die every day for no reason or a reason, but if you're here right now, don't let someone else's opinion make you feel like you can't share your ideas, your vision, your story. Many of us deal with the imposter syndrome, feeling like we don't belong, or feeling like we're not enough. But I'm here to tell you the truth, and you already belong. You're already enough. And yes, you can follow trends, you can learn from others, but it's your authenticity that's your superpower. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else, it needs the real you. Your voice, your perspective, your work, it matters, and the world needs it. So turn pain into purpose. What you survive shapes your contribution. Have a strong reason why. Your purpose is your compass. And your superpower is you. Your uniqueness is your strength. Own it and keep showing up. And EforAll's mission is, entrepreneurship for all. And I love that. Because it reminds us that entrepreneurship doesn't belong to the privileged. It belongs to the persistent. You're not just building a business, you're building a legacy of resilience. Every challenge, every small win, every pivot is shaping you into something stronger and wiser and more aligned. So my final reminder is this. You do not need a perfect plan. I didn't. You just need a reason and the courage to keep walking towards it. Because if you are in this room right now, you've already proven that you are not ordinary. You are supernatural humans, people that turn into ideas into impact, pain into purpose, and visions into reality. Thank you.